Hello friends! Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the wildfires here in California, which are currently raging. The one that I want to talk to you about in particular is the one that is in our mountains near our cabin. Some readers have been asking about how our cabin is, and so I thought I would update you. Thus far, our cabin is not in danger. The fire is in the area where our cabin is. It's about 10 miles away, but through very rugged, scarred terrain. And so we're not very worried about it in terms of our residents up there, but still it is endangering many of the beautiful sequoias, and I think that's why they're so concerned. It's called the Coffepot fire. Now, one of the ways that they are fighting the fire is that they are using the Mineral King Road, which is a very circuitous 22-mile road that goes up the mountain to our cabin, Silver City, and then the end of the road in Mineral King. And that road is a very historic road and has a very interesting history. So I thought I would have Robert tell you a little bit about that and then maybe touch upon the fire that is near our cabin.
Hi everyone, this is Robert Hubble. I'm Jill's managing editor on her blog. I want to talk just a little bit about the Mineral King fire, or the fire that's in the Mineral King Valley called the Coffepot fire. This is the third year out of the last 5, I believe, that we've had wildfires that have impacted our ability to access our cabin. And the reason, there are many, many reasons for that. They all relate to climate change and man-made intervention. When John Muir walked through the Sierra Nevada range of mountains over 100 years ago, he did a tree census and there were 20 trees per acre. Now there are more than 200 trees per acre. That number of trees is stressing the resources, the water that's available to the trees. With the warming climate and the competition for water, the trees have become susceptible to the bark beetle, which can kill a 200-foot pine tree in a month. It's just shocking. So after 100 years of fire suppression, uncontrolled tree growth, opportunistic pests, and tree mortality, we've now had 3 years of the last 5 of fires in Mineral King. Now, Mineral King is a historic area that was in the latter part of the 19th century a gold mining destination, and it was really never very successful as a gold mining operation, but it was successful enough for the people in Porterville and Visalia and Three Rivers in Central California to pay for and build a one-lane circuitous one-way road to get to the destination of Mineral King, which is an alpine-like glacial valley with a floor at about 8,000 feet and peaks at about 10,005. It's very beautiful and very dramatic. But that road is the only way in and out. When Mineral King was put into the national park in around 1978 as part of an effort to prevent the Disney Corporation from developing it into a ski resort, the Park Service made a conscious decision to keep that area wild and remote. And our family had already owned a cabin there. They had been driving cattle up there for grazing. So we're inholders, we own land inside a national park. They can buy us out whenever they want, but as they frequently say, they don't have money for shovels and pickup trucks, so they're not going to spend it to, evict people who are actually very good neighbors and partners and stewards with the park. So because there's this one-lane road, when there's a fire, that becomes the access route for fire equipment, engine companies and trail crews, and out of an abundance of caution, the park frequently will close the road and use it really as a firefighting access. Sometimes the fires have burned right up and over the road, and Jill's going to show you some video where that's happening now. So in this particular fire, as I said, it's the third major fire in about 5 years. The prior two fires have left very large fire scars that make it more difficult for the new fire to burn through areas that have been recently burned. So we think because of that, our cabins are safe, because the last fire came within 1.5 miles of our cabin. That said, this year, the Park and Tulare County Fire and CAL FIRE are using that one-lane road as a secondary fire break. They hope to contain the fire using the east fork of the Kaweah River as a fire break. But if it goes past the river and starts to burn uphill towards our cabin and up canyon towards our cabin, the Mineral King Road is a fire break, so they're clearing brush on both sides. And again, Jill's going to show you some dramatic video of firefighters right on the road trying to stop the flames from jumping over the road and going uphill, which then gives it some access to our cabins. So, anything else I should cover?
Just right now, the fire is 47%
contained. 47% contained.
And there's about over 1,000 firefighters.
Yeah, 1,300 firefighters. Most of the containment is towards the southern and western side of the fire that threatened a little town called Three Rivers, which is northeast of Visalia, California, and Visalia is between Bakersfield and Fresno. So while it's contained on that edge, it's not really contained on the northern and eastern flanks, which is sort of directionally where our cabin is. But that's where those existing fire scars are. So we're hopeful that those fire scars and all of the work that the firefighters have done will contain the fire, including using the Mineral King Road as a fire break.
So consequently, we have not been able to visit our cabin very much this year. We did not get up to the cabin for Labor Day, which is actually a requirement of our homeowners association up in Silver City. We always have a Labor Day meeting, and we had to do that over Zoom this year. So, and we also had to rely on neighbors to close our cabin because we wanted to make sure we may not be able to get up based on the fire's progress. So it's been a difficult few years for our little mountain cabin, but we are very grateful to the firefighters for protecting the forest and the sequoias and our little cabin.
Looks like it might be jumping the road.